Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I've been getting a lot of comments on my personal investment. People are asking me for advice on what to invest in and what not to invest in. I can't tell you what to invest in, I'll tell you what I personally invest in, and it's been paying off very well for me. For the last 2 years I've been shorting oil ever since the oil collapsed back in summer 2014 when Brent used to be 110 and it dropped down to a low of $26 a couple of months ago. I got into the energy sector a bit later. I started shorting oil back in Q4 2014, and then I started buying longs again. As you know, with Robinhood, you cannot short, but I do my tradings on most of it on Scottrade, this Robinhood account, and I'm just testing it out. So my two picks, though, for those of you that have asked me about it, Marathon Oil and Whiting. I've been a strong advocate of this, and any of my friends, you guys know, I've been a strong advocate of Marathon and Whiting for the last, like the last 6 months, even when it was going down. If you look at Marathon, if you look at 6 months, I started buying in all the way here, back in December. Even though it was going down, it dropped all the way down to $6. I bought in even more, and what I tell my friends, an advice from me, what I do personally is I never invest 100% of my available funds. The reason why is I invest 50, and then I have a little breakdown, a ladder, where just in case it gets cheaper, it gets lowered, I don't panic. I view them as entry points, opportunities for me to buy at a discount. And if you look at Marathon, the reason why I like this one personally so much is it used to be $30. Now it's dropping down to, at $30. It was actually at $40 a few years ago, and it dropped down to $6. Just like how the housing market crashed in 2008 and stock went down so low in 2008, 2009. The energy sector is the same way. It's undersold, it's oversold, sorry, it's way oversold. This stock cannot go from $40 down to $6. So I bought in, and you can see within 3 months it's paid off quite a lot, going back all the way up to 15. It's down a lot today. Quarterly earning will be released tonight at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then the conference will be tomorrow for Marathon. That's why you can see a 4% drop today. But here are some of the programs that I use on my mobile just to check with Marathon. So if we go to Chrome, and you can type in oil live, and it's going to show up daily FX. I have a shortcut for it. I'm just showing it to you guys so you guys can go through it. If you want to trade oil, you need to know oil prices, and you need to understand how the news affects oil. Like today, oil spiked a bit up in Canada. Sand oil, that I can't remember, Fort something. There was a huge wildfire. 80,000 people from that town. They had to evacuate, sorry. And that town is sitting on the biggest oil deposit, sand oil. So, and what happens then? You can see the little spike right here. And this is well, let's go by hour. So in the morning when we woke up, there were some other news as well, but you can see that kind of helped a bit right here with you can see the green going, that's by hour. It went up. The reason why it went up, one of the reasons why, was because of that big fire. That's going to cause a lot of problem for the production, sand oil production up in Canada. So this is what I use to view oil, and you can select, you can go by minutes, you can track it by the minute, by 30 minutes, by 1 hour, by 1 day, and each one of these bars represent whatever increment or interval you're going by. And if you look at, let's say, 1 month, okay, you look at 1 month, and you can see from the, let me see if this works. I'll try to draw some on here for you. So you can see down here, this is 2016. This is current, and this is about 2015, 2013, okay? And like I said, summer of 2014 right here, oil used to be up to almost 110, and it just dropped. It dropped a lot, and as you can see, it dropped all the way down to when I said it was at $20, $25, $26 right here. That's the lowest point, okay? And what I can see from now is it has to go back up. The reason why oil has to go back up, a lot of reason. If you look at Russia right now, it's a lot of it is government owned. They're not maintaining their equipment, their machineries. Once they go out, it's gonna cost them a lot, and they don't have the funds to do it because oil has been so low that it's harder for them to balance their budget. If you look at OPEC, a lot of OPEC's nations, they need a lot. They need upward of $100. If you look at Saudi Arabia, it used to be upward of $100 until they cut their budgets recently. So they need Brent at $70, and this is WTI right here. Brent is just down here, and they need Brent at $70 to balance their budget. You look at Libya. A lot of terrorism, a lot of wars over there. You look at Nigeria, they cannot balance their budget. Venezuela is in bankruptcy right now. All of these countries, they cannot sit on $40 oil, a barrel for oil. They tried to kill shale, U.S. shale, but U.S. shale isn't going away. They realize that now oil will go back up. So this is one of the things that I use. As you can see, it's been down, it's been depressed for so long. It will go back up. Other things you can look for me, this is what I also use. If you look at, let's say, Marathon Oil, MRO, you can look at price to book, and Yahoo will show it for you. When you're not signed up for it, they'll give you a basic of it. So if you look at the 5 years, right here, if you look at the 5 years for Marathon Oil, what price to book means for beginner investors are you take your assets, you subtract your liabilities. So what you have, subtract what you owe, divided by your shares. That's your book value. Basically, you're saying if your company liquidated, you take everything you have, you pay everyone you owe, and then you divide whatever's left with whoever the shares that's outstanding out there, the stocks. What is it worth? And as you can see, it's ever since 2012, 13, 14, 15, usually it's for Marathon, it sits slightly at 125. So it sits, the book value is always a bit higher than, the price is always slightly higher than the book value. However, if you look at right here, February, it dropped down to 0.25. Whatever the book was worth, the stock was going for 25% of what it's worth. Way depressed. And for those of you that bought in then, you would have been rewarded. It jumped up to like 0.6 just recently. It's slowing down, but you would have tripled your investment if you bought Emerald back in February, which I strongly suggest it. You would have made 3 times. Now, in the long run, I do believe that it will go back up to 0.7, 0.8. And this is looking at a 12-month out. So you can double your investment. I strongly believe you can double because oil will go up. So that's another thing I look at when I do my investment. And another way to look at another thing I look at is, let's go back to Google. You can search up MRO. So what we just looked at was price to book, a ratio, okay? What was the ratio, price to book? And each industry is different, so you have to look at companies within similar industries. But what you can also look for is the actual book value. If the company liquidate, how much is it worth? And here, what you can find, I'm going to try to zoom in for you. As you can see on the very bottom right here, this is the book value. 27.41, what I was talking about. If you take the asset, subtract total assets, subtract total liabilities divided by outstanding common shares, that's what you get, okay? 27.41. So what we're looking at is the company is believed to be, if they're profitable again, they'll be worth about $27.41. And right now, what is it trading for? Let's see. Right now, it's trading for $12.23. So that's another thing you can look at, the book value, what is it usually at, what it will be. So that's another reason why I advocate for Marathon Oil. Another thing I want to look at is if you go to Insider Cow, another website I like to look at. This shows all the insider trading, all the movements, and type in MRO. You're gonna see back recently. If you look at it right here, recently, you see Let me see. Okay, so on the far left side, you see buy or sell. The most recent ones are buys. There's been a handful of buy, PS date, purchase and sale date. So this was in August 2015, last year, but it was bought by Lee Tillman, the CEO, and he's been stocking up shares. And if you scroll across, you can see amount of shares. He bought 5,600, 6,995, 1,100. He bought about on the very bottom 28. So he bought about 60,000 shares. Okay, he bought about 60,000 shares. He bought them at a price of averaging about $20. So I'm talking about this. That's 60,000 shares, and he averaged about $20 per share. So you can see the insider movement. I mean, if the CEO is buying it for $20, and 3 months ago it was at $6, that's a sign to buy. You don't have to buy all of it, but I mean, you drop down 25% of your investment if you're investing in energy stock. So that's another way of looking at it. I personally, on my Robinhood account, I just buy and sell some for fun. But what I use is I do a lot of contracts, and I do those through Scottrade, which you can with contracts, more risk, more gain, more variables. It's hard to explain, but this video is for Robinhood, so I'm not going to go into depth with contracts. So those are some of the things that I use to oh boy, password. Those are some of the tools that I use to evaluate my investments. And even now, I strongly suggest Marathon Oil and Whiting. If you guys want a breakdown of Whiting and why I believe Whiting will continue to rise, Whiting was only at $3 back in February, and now just a few days ago was sitting at $13 actually. So those are my two picks right now, Whitings and Marathon Oil. I'm going to post this video online. If you have any comment, please drop it down below. Any suggestion, drop it down below. And then we're going to see in 12 months if Marathon's actually going to hit $25. I always told my friends, I had back in February, I said I had a price target for Whiting at $15 in 12 months, Marathon at $25. So Marathon's only halfway there. At 3 months ago, I said when they were $6, I said they're going to recover to $25 in 12 months, and they got a long way to go. But Whiting pretty much hit it. If you look at 3 months ago, it was at $3, and I said they'll hit $15. And within 3 months, it actually peaked at like 13. Robinhood isn't accurate, so it shows 12.23. But if you go to Google and Yahoo, you actually see that it hit $13 just a couple of days ago. So just $2 off of 15. I still believe Whiting will go back even higher. They will become profitable at $50+ per barrel, and it's getting very close to that. WTI is sitting around $44 right now. It peaked at $46.50 just a couple of days ago, and it will continue to grow. Like I said, OPEC cannot last at 40. You saw what happened with Kuwait. They stopped paying their employees. They come out, they had a strike. What happened with Saudi Arabia when they laid off 50,000 employees just a couple of days ago? The employees went down, they burned 6 buses. So a lot of turmoils. You got the war in Yemen right now between the two proxies, between Iran and Saudi Arabia. You got Syria, ISIS everywhere. They might take over more of Iraq oil. You got terrorists in Libya. You have so much unrest down in South America. If you look at Brazil and Venezuela, bankruptcy right now, just chaos everywhere. Russia can't balance their budget. They can't continue to sell oil this low. So a lot of these countries have to change. They have to cut back on production. They have to do something. They can't keep this up. They thought that they could put shale out of business, but Whiting said they're profitable at 50 right now. They used to be profitable at $80. They dropped down to 70, 60, and they said 50s. Now they say mid 40s to 50s they're profitable.
And it's something that OPEC was not, they weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting shale to be profitable at low 50s. And they're saying that they are profitable at low 50s. So that's my stock pick. Marathon Oil, Whiting, MRO, WLL. And we're going to do another review in a year, and let's hope that I'm right and we can all make some money. But if you have any comment, like I said, drop down below. If you found this video helpful, please like and smash that subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys.